Analysts say the theme this year at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit is driving fast, fun, and saving fuel. Car sales topped 16 million last year, and experts say this year will be even better with low gas prices helping to fuel demand. Kelley Blue Book senior analyst Karl Brauer joins us now on the phone with more of what we can expect to see when the doors at the auto show open on Friday. Karl, welcome to Arise Xchange. Thank you.
Hey, great to be on with you guys.
So the overriding theme this year, every year sort of has a theme. What will you call this year's?
I'd call it optimism. I think every car company out there seems to be doing plenty of work on new product of every type. There's not one single type of vehicle. It's trucks, it's supercars, it's SUVs, it's luxury, it's even fuel efficient and alternative energy, despite low gas prices.
Yeah, are we seeing more electric cars on the market? I guess Chevy has now the Bolt, which I don't know how it compares to the Volt, but the Volt was sort of a dud for General Motors when it was trying to sell it. Electric cars still big with low gas prices?
They are. I think they've realized that the long-term future still looks to be alternative fuel, electric being a great option to go with. And it's really just a matter of getting over this battery technology hump that we've got to get over to where we can make affordable cars with good range. And the Bolt seems to be a big step in that direction.
And do you think GM is sort of, gaining share now here in the electric model, the affordable electric car model, not the Tesla one?
I think that's the whole point. I think they want to make the everyman alternative vehicles. The Volt is much better this year in terms of how far it goes on pure electricity. Plus, passenger capacity styling is beautiful. And now they're talking a pure electric, with Volts, uses both gas and electricity. The Bolt will be pure electric, $30,000, 200 miles, which would be a very compelling combination.
Cars for some time now have been basically giant computers, but I was reading an article today that says the biggest threat to the big U.S. automakers are not each other, but Google. Can you talk a little bit about how technology is becoming more of a play as far as the consumers know it at the auto show?
Well, there's no doubt that the younger and younger consumers are more and more technologically savvy. I think they're more friendly toward companies like Google. And if Google can actually produce an alternative to the traditional personal transportation system we're using now, basically these what I almost want to call personal transportation pods versus cars that come pick you up and drop you off with no humans involved. It's like Uber and autonomous vehicles coming together, and it would mean you wouldn't really want to own a personal car because you've got one ready to go whenever you need it.
That's kind of a scary thought. Uber with their drivers and their non-drivers with sort of autonomous cars. What is the concept behind the new, quote, smart cars?
Well, smart cars are cars that are fully connected to the information superhighway. And it means that they know what's going on around them. They know where all the stop signs, stoplights, and other cars are. And, of course, they also know where you're at versus, say, a retail outlet. So you could end up driving past a Starbucks, and it would tell you, pull into Starbucks, we'll give you half off on the next latte you order.
Can these cars also give you an idea of sort of refueling stations when you're talking about electric cars? Because the biggest concern among electric cars is you're going to run out of juice, and then I'm not exactly sure who comes and charges you up these days.
Yeah, that would be another part of the infrastructure knowledge. The cars would be fully aware of where their closest rechargeable recharger is, and it would make sure you can get there before you run out. And it would probably start warning you, you better get to one now because you're running out of distance, and you're not going to be able to get to one if you don't do it now.
Okay, so overall, can you give us a little bit of a forecast of how you think the U.S. auto market is going to do in 2015?
It's going to do better than 2014, but not as much better than it did in 14 versus 13. In other words, there's a kind of flattening of the growth curve. And the big question that I've got, and that's going to be interesting to watch, is will car companies use discipline and remain happy with the level of organic growth the market's delivering if it shrinks a little bit every year? Or will they get frustrated and want more, and some would say greedy, and start throwing a lot of incentives and trying to push cars out the door to grab more market share?
Yeah, and that has been their downfall in the past, hasn't it? That's where it gets tricky for them.
That's what's gotten us in trouble in the past. Let's see if we can be more disciplined this time around.
Okay. Karl Brauer from Kelley Blue Book in Detroit. Thank you so much. Terrific.
Thank you.
Tomorrow on Arise Xchange, a big day for economic data. We'll find out the results of the Fed's Beige Book, a detail of the current economic conditions. Let's take a look at the markets once again. Again, as we mentioned, up until noon today, the market's up nearly 300 points. Then Really, everyone just headed for the exits, largely because of oil and other concerns regarding commodities. The Dow fell 50 points, down to 17,590. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ off fractionally. But again, the day began on a much stronger note. So we'll see how the markets open tomorrow. I'm Andrew Schmertz. Thanks for watching the Rise Exchange. We'll see you tomorrow.